Right now on Inside Texoma, we are focusing on children who not only have been affected by child abuse, but also childhood cancer. Joining me now is Jennifer Emmon Cartwright. Her son was actually diagnosed, and can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to be talking about this Sunday?
Just what entails when your child is diagnosed with cancer, and how you can raise funds and how you can support the pediatric cancer community.
Absolutely. Jennifer actually took a bold move in shaving her head for awareness. We're going to talk about that and how you can actually get involved. Something else that's a big focus, of course, is child abuse. Can you talk about what we're going to be talking about when it comes to BACA's involvement?
Well, Bikers Against Child Abuse has been in Wichita Falls for over 10 years now, and we'll tell you how it got started, what it is we do, and how we do what we do. And it's a really great organization.
Absolutely, and there's even an upcoming event that we're going to tell you about. It's something you don't want to miss. It all starts right now on Inside Texoma. Good morning, Texoma, and thanks for joining us for Inside Texoma. I'm Ashley Fitzwater. This morning, we are focusing on children and so many needs that are here in our community, starting with 46 Mamas. It's an incredible story about how one Texoma woman is involved in an organization that is reaching out to children who suffer from pediatric cancer. We are also sitting down with BACA, Bikers Against Child Abuse of Wichita Falls. And joining me now to talk about just that is Dave Smokey Schmid. He is the PR officer, a man who wears lots of hats with BACA, let's just say that, but with BACA of Wichita Falls, and we just appreciate you taking time to be here today. I know there's a huge event coming up this weekend here in Wichita Falls that the entire community is going to be invited to, and we'll get to that in just a minute and of course give them the details and what's going to be taking place. But I just kind of want to start with the basics here in case people maybe have heard of BACA, but they're not really familiar with what it is. Can you just start with BACA of Wichita Falls and how it got started?
Bikers Against Child Abuse, and we call it BACA. It's just an easier mouthful to handle. BACA was started nationally in 1995 by a gentleman I know as Chief. Everybody has a road name. My name is Dave Schmid, but everybody calls me Smokey. I know Chief as Chief. He began his work in 1995. He was a clinical psychologist. He worked with abused children in a clinical setting. He found that when they went back out into the world, they would run into their abusers and get back into the situations that caused them to duress in the first place, and all the good that he had done in a clinical setting was undone in the world. And he remembered as a child how bikers had helped him, and he thought if he could get some of his friends together to ride over to help a child, and BACA was born. It's gone from there. It was incorporated in 1996. And has spread internationally in the last 15 years. We're now overseas in New Zealand, Australia, Norway, Denmark. A lot of international chapters coming online. There's almost 100 or 90 plus in the United States. There's 23 in the state of Texas with 2 more cooking and several more in the works from there. So it's growing immeasurably. The shame is that it needs to grow. It needs to grow because there are abused children out there and they need somebody. The upside is we are here for those children. This is what we do. We work with abused children. BACA Wichita Falls began in August of 2000. It was done by a good friend of mine, Deuce. Deuce has since found other things to do, but he was the driving force behind the formation of this chapter back in 2000. I came on just as a friend helping a friend, and now 11 years later I'm still with it. I have found my labor of love. Everybody finds one in their lifetime, and this has been mine. I help empower children. I give them back a sense of security and well-being that has been stolen from them, and I make them feel better. And it doesn't get much better than that from my point of view. To that end, when we help a child, the child has already become involved in the system somehow. Either law enforcement, CPS, a governmental organization of some kind is involved with this child. We are referred to the child or to the child's family, and they invite us in. We make sure that the child's situation meets the criteria that we work within, which is a very, very narrow criteria. We have an event coming up soon, but that is not our main focus. Our main focus is helping abused children. So if they meet that criteria, then we take them under our wings, and they become our little brothers and sisters. And we do that by adopting them. When we adopt a child, we go to their house en masse. We bring as many of our brothers and sisters with us as we can, and we ride up to their house making as much noise as we can. I've seen as many as 100 motorcycles roll through a neighborhood, and with neighbors standing out in the streets just
in awe. Huh?
It's just hard to describe that many motorcycles in one place. But we do this to show the child that no matter where they go, we're there and we care. At this adoption, different chapters do different things, but here in Wichita Falls, we give them a vest, which this is our identity. This is who we are as far as BACA. We give this to the child that lets people know that they are one of our children. It'll have some patches on it in their name. We give them a pillowcase that has the names of everyone who attended the adoption that day, from in town and out of town. And they know that when they lay down at night and go to sleep, they're sleeping with the protection of their brothers and sisters. Now, in Wichita Falls, our chapter, I hate to call it a logo, but our signature piece of artwork is a dream catcher. And the dream catcher, the legend of old, says that lets the good dreams through because they know the way, but the bad dreams get caught and hung up there. So we give one of those to a child, they hang it over their bed, and it gives them good dreams. We give them a BACA blanket to cover up, and we have them all wrapped up. And we just let them know that no matter what happens, we are there for them. We have their back. They are our heroes. Though these children are heroes to us, they have been abused physically, sexually, mentally, somehow, and had their innocence taken away from them, and they're allowing us to come back into their lives and empower them and turn them back into little children. It's just a great thing to do.
Such a support team that's made available. Now, do you make more than one visit, or after that initial visit, how often would you visit with that child, and maybe do they go do stuff with you guys, or do you just go over their house and kind of talk to them, or how does that work?
Well, each child in each case is individual, and it depends on the needs of the child. But once a BACA child, always a BACA child. We've had several BACA children in our chapter and others that once they've turned 18, they've decided that they want to become BACA members and help other children. But we visit the child as much as that child needs, whether it's daily, every week or so, a couple of weeks, once a month. And then we have we have events where all our children are welcome. That way the children know that they're not the only one. They meet other children who have similar experiences. We recently took a bunch of the children to one of the local parks. We cooked hot dogs and hamburgers. We played basketball. We showed how old and out of shape some of us were with these children. We just had a real good time and gave them back a sense of being a child. And when we do things like this, as an organization, we have our own rules, things. We set up our own security. We're playing with them, but there's also 2 or 3 of us on the edges, and we don't let anybody come into this group. This is for these children only, and you don't mess with a BACA child when BACA members are around, period. It's just that much for us. But yeah, we do anything we can to help these children try to lead a more normal life. I mean, I can't stress how sad it is that they have had their innocence taken away from them, and we do what we can to give a small piece of that back to them. And it's really hard. Once a 6-year-old has become a 30-year-old, it's real hard to go back to being a 6-year-old. But we do what we can, and sometimes it takes rolling around the grass and acting like a 6-year-old yourself, which, other than being hard to get up and down, we do. That's what we do. We are there for the children. And as far as how often do we see them, how often do they need to be seen? At the adoption, we also give them a teddy bear, and that teddy bear gets passed around to every member that is there, and every member hugs that bear and just fills it with as much love as he or she can. And it all goes back to the child, and we tell that child that if at any time they think that it needs to be filled back up, call us. Here we come. I guess it's kind of like Ghostbusters. Who are you going to call? Well, we're going to call BACA. We'll be there.
What a great thing, a great sense of security then that you're actually establishing back to these children then. So
I can give you one anecdotal story. There's a lot of statistics out there about child abuse. Wichita Falls has the highest amount of child abuse of any county, Wichita County, of any county in the state of Texas. But a good anecdotal story. We helped a young family. I can't remember exactly, there were 3 or 4 children. One of them was a young boy, and he would not sleep in his own bed. He slept in his closet at night because he was so scared that the alleged abuser, who was a relation, had threatened to come back in the house and just do all manner of things. And when we became involved with this child, the mother told the child that all the children, but this child specifically, you don't have to worry anymore. BACA's here. They're going to look after us. I take that to heart. So I made it a point to go by that house that night about 9 or 10 o'clock. I just rode by my motorcycle, made a lot of noise, and left. A few days later, my president, we were talking about different business, and he said, "Oh, by the way, Smokey," he said, "did you go by the house the other night?" And I said, "Well, yeah. Why?" You know, I'm a little defensive. And he says, well, the mother, I was talking to her, and she said that she was trying to put the youngest to bed. And of course, I knew the story of the closet, and he wasn't trying to hear it. And all of a sudden, we heard a motorcycle, she said, at the window. And we ran and looked, and there was this bike doing donuts in front of the house. Might have been me. But he saw that, and I waved as I left, and I didn't see them, of course, it's dark, but she said he waved back, crawled into bed, pulled up the covers, and went to sleep, and had been sleeping in his bed every night since then.
Wow.
That is why I do what I do as far as Baca is concerned. I have gone to Louisiana just to have lunch with a child because it's Baca. Anywhere, I'll go ride for a child.
I'm sure those stories are just endless, and it just really shows how much of a difference the Baca is really making here in Wichita Falls. And we have to take a quick break, but we're going to be right back with more on an event and how the rest of Texoma can really get involved to making a difference in these children's lives. So stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, I am joined now with Smokey with Baca of Wichita Falls, and we are talking about the impact not only the Baca is making and already has truly made since the year 2000 when it was established, but also an annual event that's coming up this weekend. Tell us all about it.
Well, you know, all the things we talked about, take money to do, buying the children a vest, the pillowcase, things like that. And to our end, we have our big fundraiser coming up, and it's our annual Ride for a Reason fun run. It's going to happen out at the Eagles Lodge on 5396 Seymour Highway, Wichita Falls. It's going to be $10 per bike. Now, that's one up or two up. It's not $10 for the rider, $10 for the passenger. It's $10 per bike. Now, I don't expect anybody to pile 5 people on and show up, but hey, it's $10 a bike. Registration is going to start at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a little different from us. We're going to have an afternoon run. First bike's going to go out at 4. Everybody will be in by 6. Dinner's going to start at 6 o'clock, and we're going to have a band start at 7 o'clock. We're going to have music by Therapy, Cousin Fuzzy, and Deep in It. Being an older person around here, I'm very familiar with Cousin Fuzzy. I'm not real familiar with the other two, but I know they're all very good. Now, if you need any more information about this event, you can reach Baca at 940-235-9804. That's our hotline, and that's our information number. Somebody will get back in touch with you. You can also reach me at 940-782-2915. Now, if you would like to stand up for a child and do what we do and help a child, please call us. We're always looking for good members, and we're like the Marines. We're not taking applications, but we are taking commitments. I'm going to ask a lot of your time, and I'm going to keep you very busy, but I can promise you, you will be very, very satisfied when we're done.
What a great reward. Now, real quickly, what is the date? Is this taking place on
Saturday?
Saturday?
It's Saturday, October 22nd, and again, it's a little different from in the past. We're going to start at 3 o'clock in the afternoon instead of 10 o'clock in the morning. And we're going to be back at the Eagles Lodge by 6 o'clock. And we're going to ride en masse. We've got a good route planned out, and we're going to want people to look up and say, why are there several thousand motorcycles rolling through our town? And we're going to say, because we're bringing the word about child abuse and how to stop it. And that's what Baca is here for. We're here to fight child abuse and put it into it.
Well, what a great thing. We appreciate you taking so much time today to come and talk about the mission of Baca and, you know, the difference that it's making in all these children's lives. And again, if you'd like to get involved, you can call that number on your screen. Like you mentioned, though, it's serious. It's a lot of time, a lot of devotion that you need to have, but something I know that you are excited to take more people in and have them be a part of this team.
You won't find anything more satisfying, I think, to do with your life. And we appreciate KUZ and the time that you've given us to tell the people about this. Thank you so much. We couldn't get our word out there without the help that y'all give us. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Smokey. And we need to take another break, but coming back, we're going to hear another incredible story about a brave woman who is standing up for her son and others who suffer with pediatric cancer. That's after the break here on the Inside Texoma.